What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Daily Entrepreneur. I'm Jack. I'm here with Josh and James. We're the School of Hard Knocks. We have a great episode for you guys today, starting with the company Open A.I just released this AI chatbot that pretty much serves as a more advanced version of Google. You could pretty much ask it anything, and it's going to give you a response circling from anywhere over the internet. What are you guys' thoughts on this kind of new technology that's coming out? Basically, you can ask it, and it's like asking Google a question, and it prints you the most detailed answer possible. It doesn't make you sift through links.
So is it like an app? Is it like a website?
It's a website.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like through Google though. So is it its own program?
You can find it on Google, but it's called Open A.I. So it's its own program. I'm not sure if you can download it or not, but basically you could just ask it a question. Like if you wanted to ask it, like, write me a 200-word essay on Warren Buffett's investing strategy, it would pull information from a bunch of sources and just spit out a 200-page essay. Yeah. And so I have some interesting stats I actually want to read off for you. This is the time that it took for these companies to reach 1 million users. Netflix, it took 3.5 years. Facebook, 10 months. Spotify, 5 months. Instagram, 2.5 months. ChatGPT, which is the name of the service that OpenAI came out with, it took 5 days.
Insane.
To get 1 million users.
Well, it just goes to show then, I mean, think about how many tech millionaires that we've talked to, and a question that we'll ask them is kind of like what they think are going to be the top 3 or top 5 biggest trends in technology over the next 5 to 10 years, and they say we're living in it. Artificial intelligence is just one of those things that is emerging that's going to be massive. And like you said, the application, the ability to write an essay, to give you a trip itinerary, whatever it may be, there's just so much application for it, and it's crazy to see the advancements that's coming out with it.
Well, I just want to talk about, like, how does this affect Google? Because, I mean, like, they should be shivering right now, pretty much, because it's like you go to Google, the user has to now sift through a bunch of links to find the information that they need. They might provide you some information at the top to answer your question, but it's not as detailed, and sometimes it's not always 100% accurate. This pulls from all the possible sources and provides, like, the number one thing. So
the craziest thing about this is that people are just asking this thing anything. Like, it would be like, hey, solve this advanced programming problem, and it will literally do it.
Yeah. Literally, just a bunch of coding stuff. But I mean, I think that brings us into our next article.
Yeah. So speaking of, altercations in the marketplace, is Buzzfeed, which company that recently went public in the last year, just decided to cut 12% of its workforce, so about 180 workers. And what I have to say about that is so there's been all these massive layoffs in tech lately. Yeah. Do you think applications like the chatbot is going to take off and pretty much offload a decent amount of workers and replace jobs?
See, that's the thing is I don't know how much employment is going to be within that. I mean, obviously you're going to have the developers that are going to be building out the AI systems, but like once the AI is automated, those industries, I mean, that was a whole big concern with artificial intelligence in the first place, was that, I mean, it's robotic. It controls all these operations. It doesn't require a lot of like manpower. Like once it's up and running, it's not like Google necessarily where you're going to constantly need like maintenance on search engines and all that type of stuff. So, I mean, I'm not 100% certain on kind of that, but I do think that it does open up integration from people from these tech companies, of all these people that are facing layoffs from whether it's Twitter or Facebook or Meta, whatever it may be, to various companies like this.
I've always said the shift in training needs to move. It needs to shift from just how to do your day-to-day tasks to being can you manage machines to be able to do the task for you. That's really what it needs to come down to. Instead of paying $200,000 for a college degree that the information is going to be obsolete in 2 years, what they need to be teaching is teaching people in school right now how to manage machines to do their jobs. Even things that like aren't tech fields are going to require AI and there's going to be AI that's going to come out and replace the actual mental capacity to do the job. But you're still going to need people to run and manage it. You're going to need people to sit there and ask that AI questions to be able to do the job. Like if
someone to actually feed it.
Someone to feed it the information and be able to report it and communicate it in a way that humans can at this stage in the game. At some point, that's probably going to get evolved.
I think one of the most concerning things I feel like, honestly, one of the things I probably least expected is graphic design. Is you guys have probably seen it on your feed over the past couple of days. Everyone's like posting those pictures of themselves with like the AI versions. Yeah. And what people can do now with these softwares, it'll be like LeBron James, swimming on a dolphin. And it will literally come up with a perfect image of an animation of LeBron James literally swimming on a dolphin. And it's insane what these things can do.
I think the thing that's currently separating it from being a complete takeover of graphic designers is when it comes down to how specific you need the design. Because I think this AI stuff can get you close to what you're looking for, to the point where it's like, oh, that's pretty neat, that's cool. That's kind of in the realm of what I was looking for. And people that aren't needing anything specific, they could maybe actually use that graphic design that the AI made for real purposes. But right now, I think that there are companies and people out there that really need still specific enough designs to where they need an actual designer to get it down to the T of what they need. But we're close. It's if you're a graphic, like I said, that's when graphic designers need to start also adding to the toolbook. How can I manage the AI that does design with my background? I could be a real superpower when it comes to that point of where AI gets so good to where my skills as a designer are obsolete, but my mind and creativeness is still going to be useful to be able to manage it. But I think that moves on.
Yeah, so we're going to stay in tech though. And Microsoft has offered to Sony a 10-year deal to acquire all Call of Duty releases over the next 10 years. And this comes after Microsoft is currently in the works and they're getting ready to acquire Activision Blizzard for about $69 billion. So Josh, as someone who I know probably one of the most passionate people about gaming, I know it's one of your hidden passions there. Kind of what are your thoughts on this? And Microsoft's play to kind of, I don't know if they really are kind of into gaming at this moment,
Yeah, I mean, I think that is going to revolutionize this industry. I mean, Activision and Blizzard, those are two massive studios, and those were so maybe you guys know this, maybe you guys don't, but they would alternate which Call of Duty was made by each one. So like, let's say Black Ops was made by Blizzard, the next Call of Duty was made by Activision, so they'd swap off every year.
So did they merge? They combined?
Well, it looks like if they're gonna get acquired, then maybe they might just bring the studios together.
Blocked, right?
It's getting bought for $69 billion by Microsoft.
Well, I'm saying it's Microsoft's actually being sued right now over that ordeal. So
Really?
I think it's the FTC. Is currently, and that might need to be fact checked. I didn't read the article or anything. I saw this in a tweet, so I don't know if this is true, but I saw that in a tweet, the FTC is suing Microsoft for their acquisition of Activision Blizzard because of like monopoly type concerns.
Honestly, it kind of does seem like that, because you look at some of the biggest games in the market right now. I mean, Microsoft is already a huge player in itself with like they own Xbox and everything.
Yeah.
And then like Blizzard, they created like Overwatch and a lot of these big games like that. And then Activision, most notable, I think, is really for their Call of Duty. So I think if you got two of the biggest studios in gaming
Under Microsoft,
it's like where's the competition going to come from?
But what kind of hit does Sony take from this? I mean, obviously they're going to be compensated well if it's a 10-year deal from Microsoft for all of Call of Duty. Yeah. But regardless, I mean,
I think it's going to be interesting. I think how they'll mostly be affected is in terms of like how people like price their games, because I think maybe what they'll do is they'll add incentives where like right now games are being, let's say, it's priced at $59.99. On maybe Microsoft would be like, because it's under Microsoft's umbrella, it'd be like $49.99.
Sony owns PlayStation, though, right?
Sony does own PlayStation, but I don't think Sony owns any major like game publishers like Activision or Blizzard, though. At least not to my knowledge. I don't know, but I don't think they do. So I think it could be huge. It could blow up this industry overall.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that lawsuit breaks up everything or if they actually do acquire it. It's going to be crazy with Microsoft's technology, what they might come out with combining all those forces. But, I think that about wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning into episode 30 of The Daily Entrepreneur. If you enjoyed this episode, please comment down what your favorite article was today. Leave a like and please subscribe for more content. And yeah, anybody got a quote of the day? Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant.
There it is.
Banger.
Bam.
There it is.